Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Football on December 4th, matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. Before we get into that, though, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Literally whatever amount you put on, they'll just double it. So if you go for the full 100, they'll give you 200 to play with. If you just throw our code in, they'll hook you up with the deal. And if you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because we run a lot of different types of shows. We run like our late night show where we try to get value on the board when it's first getting populated. And then Monday through Friday, we have a daily show. Once the board's fully populated, we hit you with even more picks. And we're actually going to be adding more shows in the near future too. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed and you'll be notified as soon as we drop fresh picks for Prize Picks. And yeah, so before we get into our picks though, we're going to do a recap of our Sunday NFL picks. I'm not excited about it because my picks did not hit. But I got the big goose on this one. So I had taken Bijan Robinson for over 59.5 rushing yards, and he just didn't get it done. I think it was just like it ended up being a tough situation for him. I think he got a little bit in the doghouse when he was deep in the end zone, and he ended up allowing a safety. It was a rough game. But yeah, he fell short of that. He only went for 53. And then we had Raheem Mostert for over 59.5 rushing and receiving yards, which I felt pretty good about. And he came close. He hit 51. Someone put in the comments, are you worried about like his snap count going down since Devon Achane is back? And I just made a joke about it and said like, oh, he's going to be in there for 2 snaps and, get injured again or something. But turns out like they were ready to give Achane a full workload, which wasn't the case before. But Achane ended up getting like 17 carries. I think part of that too was they just blew them out so, handedly that they went deep and let Achane do his thing as well. So we fell short there. And unfortunately, Sam Howell didn't get it done either. Took him for over 39 pass attempts. He only went for 23. This is the second time he's gone under 40 in 10 games. So I felt good about that pick. That was actually the pick I was most confident in on my side. I had it in several slips, so don't worry. Like I lost on that too, unfortunately. But Jordy hit us with a couple, so hopefully you took his picks in this one. And
I had some really good value that I had found with the receptions. So it's just the type of thing where I felt good about yours too. I played yours in a bunch, and that's the kind of thing we do. We just always are riding our picks and stuff, and no matter what that is, I got a fly just messing with me so hard. But anyway, I had David Montgomery for over 1 TD. He had one. He got it in the first
minute.
Yeah, it was so early, but he cashed that really early for us, so I was happy about that. I also took Josh Reynolds for over 1.5 receptions, and he only had 1, so he missed on this one. He had 3 targets. He just had an awful game. He couldn't really get separation at all, and they were trying to move him around and help him out, and he just... Every time the ball hit his hands, he either dropped it or he just couldn't snag it down. But he got 1 at the end of the game. It was a great catch, but obviously we needed him for 2, so that doesn't really matter. So we missed on that one, and then we took Kyle Pitts for over 2.5 receptions, and he hit on this. He had 4, so that was a pretty nice little day for us. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, some people in our Discord, they grabbed a couple of those and were able to cash on some slips, and it was pretty nice. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Sometimes they don't hit. But let's get into the picks we have for Monday night.
Sweet.
So to get us started, I'm actually going with 2 receiving props, receiving yards. And I like Joe Mixon to start to go over 19.5 receiving yards. And, his receptions are super juiced to the over at 2.5. Prizepicks has it at 3. But I didn't feel totally comfortable with that because in his last game, with their new quarterback, Browning, he only got 2 receptions. So the fact that it's set at 3, I just need to see more first. But I did notice, he went for 44 receiving yards in that matchup against Pittsburgh, just on 2 receptions. So I'm going to be riding with the receiving yards instead. And if we look at what the Jaguars are allowing to running backs, they're allowing on average 49, just under 50 yards a game to running backs. If you would rather take the receptions, go for it. But I'm riding with the receiving yards, especially since Prizepicks has it bumped to 3. But yeah, on average, they're allowing running backs about 8.5 targets and 7 receptions for just under 50 receiving yards. So this is a minus 120 to go over. So I'm going to just ride with the receiving yards instead. That's going to be my first pick. And we're just doing 2 each because this is actually a pretty tough slate. And so my next pick is actually going to I'm just going with Jamar Chase. I feel safe about this. In his game with Browning, he ended up going for 81 receiving yards against Pittsburgh. And that was on 6 targets, and he hauled in 4 receptions for 81 yards. And we also have T. Higgins coming back. And so with T. Higgins, he's actually hit this at about an 80% clip, 70 or 80% clip. So I like that T. Higgins will be out there kind of adding a little bit more distractions, that Jacksonville will have to worry about and not just be able to focus on Chase the whole time. I know he'll still be the main target that they're going to try to stop, but Jacksonville actually allows quite a bit of receiving yards to wide receivers on average, just over 164 yards a game. 20 targets for 12.5 receptions a game. So I think if you look at teams that are actually pretty decent, have some good weapons, they're throwing out a lot of yards against Jacksonville. So this one's actually, I'll let you know that this is actually favored to the under. So if you're uncomfortable taking it, don't take it. But until the board populates a little bit more, before game time, there might be some more props available. But what we have available now, I'm going to ride with the receiving yards for the over. So those are the 2 I've got. What do you got for us, Jordy?
Yeah, so to get me started, I'm going to be going with a receptions prop to start here. I'm going to be going with Travis Etienne over 2.5 yards, or 2.5 receptions, sorry. And I know, you guys will probably think, well, why don't you just take his touchdown or his rushing yards? Or, he's really been on a kind of a weird, iffy streak lately. But they're trying to get him involved more because he is been dealing with a minor injury. But he's playing through it, and he's going to play again tomorrow, they said. So I'm comfortable taking his receptions because he doesn't really have that full-on burst right now that I've seen from him all year. So they've been getting him involved more in the passing game to try to get him out in space and help him out a little bit. So I like him to go over his receptions. They're juiced anyway because they do this a lot. But he's actually averaging 4.3 targets a game and 3.1 receptions a game. So he's been doing this all year. He's gone over this in the last 8 out of 10 games. So he's been averaging this all year pretty much. And he's the 4th most targeted player on the Jaguars. He's actually getting more targets than Zay Jones. I know Zay Jones was hurt for a while, but even before he was hurt, he was actually, when Zay Jones was healthy, he was 3rd in targets, Travis Etienne was. So I like him to go over this. This is kind of like a no-brainer play for me. If we look at what the Bengals are giving up to running backs. They're giving up 3.5 receptions on almost 5 targets a game. So there is juice for us here. And I think like Etienne is not your average running back. This guy has been on one this year. He's been electric. So I like him to go over this a lot. This is a minus 120. And a lot of people have it at 115, but I think this is going to cash for us. You know, the game line is set at, let's see what the game line is here. Let's see. So we got a game line of, they have it at 40 with a 10-point favorite to the Jags. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a blowout. I could be wrong, but I think they're going to get him involved regardless of the passing game. So I like him to go over this anyway. And then for my last pick, I'm going to be going with a receiving yards prop also. And I'm going with Tyler Boyd for over 30.5. Tyler Boyd has gone over this in 7 out of his last 10 games. And I know T. Higgins is back, but he actually has out-targeted T. Higgins all year long. I know this isn't Joe Burrow, but I still think he'll get this done tonight because he's such a great slot receiver. He finds the soft spot so easily. He went over this 6 out of 10 times in the last 10 games with T. Higgins. So I think he can get this done for us. And let's see here. He's actually the second most targeted receiver on the team also. And if you look at his last couple games, he's been going over this regularly. He's missed it in the last 2 games, but the targets have been there and so have the receptions. So it's just about him getting the yardage, which I think he can, because the Jaguars are 11th in passing defense, which is pretty, it's not good and it's not like terrible. It's not the Commanders, but it's not, you know, it's not terrible. So I like him to go over this. I think this is kind of a no-brainer. It's a minus 115, but I'm kind of just ignoring that in a game like this. This is going to be such a weird game with Browning, and from what I've seen, Browning has been targeting him a lot. Browning's accuracy is just what's going to be in question for us. So I think he can get this done. It's just whether or not he can snag those for us. So I'm feeling good about these, though, for this board.
All right, so yeah, these are the 4 we've got for you. It is a little bit of a tough board right now. There will be more value tomorrow before game time. And if you haven't yet, I just wanted to show you a little bit about our Discord. We actually had quite a few people, even with the first picks. We had a few of us that weren't doing so well, and as a community, we're always just throwing out. We had quite a few people cashing today. We're always throwing out plays like live, like we had some pretty good success in the night game. Everyone was just throwing out their favorite picks, and we have this is kind of the new look. We've got like everyone throwing in their favorite NBA picks and their NFL picks, and some people do CS:GO, but everybody was just kind of banding together and kind of showing us what we were getting in, what they were like excited about. And it was a lot of fun. It ended up being quite an awesome resource for us. So definitely go check that out. We'll be doing that again tomorrow before the night game, because we all ended up making money at the end of the day, kind of last minute. I think a lot of us were having a little bit of a rough day, and then a lot of us ended up cashing. So it was a good time. But anyways, that's going to do it for us, guys. We appreciate you guys watching the show, and we will have the NBA video out tonight as well, coming up next. So good luck tomorrow, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.